Okay. Thank you guys for jumping on today's team call. Um, Today is gonna be jam-packed with information. So get your pen ready, get your notes ready, and what I want to ask you, first of all, is do you feel like you have Lauren, you have a social media plan or a social media strategy? And do you know the difference? So, social media plan is, for instance, if you're like, I'm going to post to Facebook 5 times a week, and I'm going to post to Instagram 3 times a week, and I'm going to go in my stories 4 times a day, and that's a plan. That's a plan to post, but that is not a strategy. So a strategy needs to be clear and doable. And the reason that we want a social media strategy is because it has a theory. So you're all super smart. And with a theory, we have a hypothesis, right? And if we post very specifically and strategically, the hypothesis is people will connect to us, we will grow our network, and we will convert our new network into sales. Like that's a strategy, right? Like a plan is like, hey, I'm going to post this many times. How often are you guilty of like posting and praying the right person sees it and messages you and wants to order from you? I am super guilty of I post a lot and I tried to be very intentional with it, but it wasn't until this week where I really was like, I don't actually have a strategy. So we're going to dig in and help you create a content strategy tonight. Um, so the goal is, right, with your strategy to get somebody's attention, get them interested in you, give them a choice so they can make a decision and take action. That's like our sales funnel: attention, interest, decision, and action. So we need to post in a way that is moving people in some sort of direction. So there's 3 types of content. Also, I did not really understand this until this week, so I'm super excited about it. Hold on. So 3 types of content: content to build your brand, content to grow your visibility and your audience, and content to convert and sell. So, again, being really strategic about those 3 different things is going to be critical. And guess what? There's a formula of how much statistically we should be posting in each of those 3 areas to market the most efficiently. And that's really what we're doing, right? Like we're in network marketing. We are marketing us. People, like hundreds of thousands of people sell Plexus. Why would somebody order it from you? Because they love you. Because they want to connect with you. They want your support. They want your help. So growing your brand is going to be super important. And here is something that I don't know if you've thought about much, but the consensus is not that Plexus jewels are like this big research focus group, but the consensus is among the jewels, I guess, the diamonds, is that the reason so many people get stuck at gold or senior gold is because they have maxed out their influence and they have not learned how to grow their influence and create more of a warm market. So many people can go gold or senior gold with their warm market based on the people that they know when they started Plexus, based on the people that already liked them. And I can testify to that. Laura, can you testify to that? Yeah, it gets much harder when you're trying to grow, turn people in from a cold market into a warm market. I don't cold message people. I only message people that I know that I have a relationship with. Well, I'm going to hit a ceiling if I am not growing people that I have a relationship with and through social media, right? So let take a few notes, if you will, on what those different categories look like. And that's going to help us as we move forward. So category one, content to build your brand. Excuse me. This is going to be where you highlight what makes you, you, your reputation. How would someone describe your brand when you're not in the room? So this is you. So for me, I'm homeschooling my autistic son. I have adult children. I have a brain injury. I run. Like, that's who I am. So building your brand is allowing people to connect to you. And are you trying to be in the video? I have my headphones in. He just announced that he was the autistic son, for those of you that cannot hear him. So this really is like if you weren't there and somebody said, you've got to meet my friend Jessica. She is this, and this. That's your brand, right? That's how your friends would describe you. So that's important because you want people to be able to connect with you and build a relationship with you. And people do that, right? Like, you going to draw closer to people who are similar to you and people that you connect with. Thank goodness there's only a couple more weeks of this election, but I tend to scroll very quickly past certain people who post very eagerly in a certain way that I maybe don't agree with right now. They're not going to change my vote, right? They're not, and I don't dislike them, but I'm scrolling really quickly past that. I'm not connecting to them in that area, and I'm probably hoping to ever avoid a conversation about politics with that person. But I will connect to other moms who have autistic sons. I may connect to other people who love to jog, and they'll connect to me. So that's building your brand. But growing your visibility and your audience, this is where you're going to create content where your goal is to get lots of likes. Your goal is to get interaction. And most importantly, your goal is to get your post shared. Because what happens when somebody shares your post? Lots of people who don't follow you now will see it. So that's where, and then typically what happens, so if one of my friends shares somebody else's post, let's say to their Instagram stories, and I kind of like what that post says that they shared, what am I going to do? I'm going to click on that post and go look at what else that person has to say. And either I kind of agree with it or vibe with it and I follow them, or I just move on. But I am regularly exposed to people that I never would be because of other people sharing their posts. Laura is really good about sharing posts that she connects with in her stories. And I'll click on them and I'll go. So you want to create posts that people want to share. It's hard to say what people will connect with. I've got one post that's at 2.6 million views right now with like 54,000 shares. I don't really know why people love it, but it continues. It just doesn't, it at the point right now is like 100,000 more views a week. And my following just kind of about like 10 new followers a day. And almost all of them are coming from this one post. So you don't really know, but that's an indicator to me that it was a post about parenting. And that was an indicator to me that people were interested in that type of thing. And so that's not all I post about, but I will regularly post about that on Instagram because I want the people, I know that that post is still trending. So I want people to come to my page and either see it in my bio or see my next couple posts and go, okay, there's more like this. I'm going to follow her. Does that make sense? Do you have questions? Because I did today, that was my question on the interactive call is what's the difference between building my brand and creating visibility? So hopefully I explained it here because I got the answer to that today. But do you guys have questions about those two or differentiating between them? I guess another way to say it is when you're growing your visibility and you're creating posts that are really shareable and interactive, then you want people to see your brand and feel connected and like they might want to have a relationship with you. Does that make sense? And you'll see when we do the ratio how it's going to all work together. Now, content to convert and sell. This is where, this is where you're sharing about Plexus. You're trying to get the sell, whether you're posting about an event that we're having, like, so you've hopefully have seen it, but we're starting an event next Monday, the 4th. And so this would be where that would be a sell and convert post to try to get somebody to that event, because to be in that event, they've got to order a combo, right? So that's a sell post. You might post testimonials here. You might post lifestyle and how it's fitting in. What you don't want to do is in your brand posts, be adding Plexus to every one of your brand posts. We don't want to do that. So like, had a great jog today, thanks to Plexus Active. Had a great homeschooling day, thanks to Plexus Vital Biome. I'm super simplifying it down, but we don't want to do that, apparently. I'm learning all kinds of things. It's really fantastic. Promotional content, discounts, gift with purchase, new product launches, things like that. That's going to be in your convert and sell category. So here is your ratio. You are going to post, if you are posting strategically, 20% of your content will be convert and sell. 30% is going to be building your brand, and 50% of your content is going to be designed to grow your audience. So that's your ratio. I'll be honest. I was like, I got to post more to sell more. I got to be just selling all the time. And then I was like, so here is the thing. Raise your hand if you regularly share unique content to Facebook and Instagram. Not where it goes straight across. I was taught again today, Miss Houston, never to let it go where you click it just to go. And here is why. And this makes sense. I had read, and this was also stated, that whichever one you post to it first and then let it tack over, the algorithm will always go to the native post. But here is the other reason, and this makes lots of sense too. If you have a lot of the similar followers, they may interact and comment on one of them. They are not going to interact and comment when they see it the second time. So now you are making it look like that post isn't interesting. The algorithm is not going to see that it's interesting because people aren't commenting on it because they already commented on your other one. Does that make sense? Basically, you're diluting the engagement. Now, you can post it on Facebook and then 2 days later post it on Instagram. You can do that. You can cycle it all around, but just don't let it go over at the same time. That makes sense. Try not to let it be the same day. Um, so here you have two options. Here's the thing about the marketing module that we're doing right now. Make fast decisions. Don't overthink this. Let's make fast decisions. And if it's not working in 60 days, you can change your mind. You can change it up. So you are going to decide whether you want to use the pillar strategy. Remember on our training a few weeks back, on the ChatGPT training, I don't know if you guys saw that, where we did the thing and had it tell us 3 to 5 pillars about ourselves and all of that. So that's the pillar strategy. You have your 3 to 5 pillars, and that's what you post about. Here are, and the other one's going to be niche, but I'm going to kind of go into some pros and cons of both so you can decide what you're going to do. So pillar strategy, some pros of the pillar strategy. Wide range of potential audience, right? You're touching all kinds of humans. It's going to expand your brand to new followers and help many people with common ground find you, but it also takes a long time. And it takes much longer to build relationship build in this way. Apparently, this is not, I'm just regurgitating what I learned. Cons of the pillar strategy. One of the cons was that it's slower to build because your content is diluted. That's where it comes from. Now that I'm looking at the other side of my paper, you will build more slowly because your content is diluted, right? Like if Laura's, one of her pillars is diabetic mom, and one is Crohn's mom, and one is single mom, and one is super successful networking mom. Well, if a Crohn's mom is only finding her once every third week, she's going to be slower to build a relationship. Does that make sense? Because you're spreading out through lots of pillars. Somebody cannot quickly see by looking at your page if you have content that interests them. Again, because you're doing a lot of different things. But this might make you happy. You might really like sharing all of those things. The niche strategy is going to be a more focused account. I feel like, has it been like 5 years we've been like talking to niche or not to niche? We go to one convention, they say niche, and we go to the next convention, they say don't niche, and then we go to another convention. Okay, here's where you get to just decide what the hell you want to do. Whatever you want to do, what feels good. You guys know how to niche, but they gave us this really cool, that's where your main focus is one thing, but you can share about multiple things as it connects to that. So I'm going to show you this. I cannot send it to you until I get out of Gallenberg. But see this diamond? You don't have to be able to read it, but see how there's all kinds of facets to the diamond? I don't even know how well you can see that. But this is a niche account exercise. And if you want, because I can't send you the diamond, what you can do is write a big number 1. This would be your niche topic, just for fun, play with me. Then you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 smaller. So if you really like to do, outline exercises, you'd have a 1 and then A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So for this example, that is not mine, but it's the example they gave. This person chose perimenopausal humor as their niche. And then these are the assets. And so the best way to think of it is like in a diamond, all the little assets are what make it sparkle, right? All the little cuts and make it more unique. So here are some examples to go with that. So here are hormone-friendly nutrition, supplements for perimenopause, aging naturally beauty tips, and you don't have to write these down. This just gives you an idea of how to add assets. Body positivity, perimenopause education, hormone-friendly fitness. So that was an example of how they did it. I will share with you how I did mine because you guys know me, and it may make more sense knowing me and how I designed my niche. So my big topic is Gen X mom. Then my assets around it are homeschool autism mom, mom of adults, menopause, help through supplements, TBI, and running. So those are other things that I will mix in that I can also relate to being a Gen X mom. Does that make sense? So I'm not every day talking about being a Gen X mom, but how do those things relate? Like running in my 50s feels way different than running in my 20s did. You know, parenting adults is way different than parenting toddlers. You know, TBI with my concussions, that's just a kind of a chronic health thing. And by the time you're in your 50s, most of us have something we're dealing with. So anyway, the niche strategy really helps you, again, niche in, and it allows people to find you quicker, if that makes sense. And don't be afraid to use a lot of Chat GPT. So here is the first question for you, and write down your answer. You ready? Pick your platform. You're going to only focus on being it'll roll over, but do you want to really start to grow your Instagram or your Facebook? You do you, but write one down. Number 2, do you want to niche or use your pillars? Number 3, how often do you want to post? There's no magic number. Listen, if you're the magic number is it needs to be more than 3. So I asked in the group because she recommended 3 to 4. Okay. And so my question was, I post 3 times a day on Facebook and twice on Instagram. Do I need to drop down to 3 or 4 times a week? And her answer was, if you have the capacity to create good content every single day, do that. The guideline of 3 to 4 is for people that just don't feel like they have the capacity to create more good content than that. It needs to be 3 to 4. Okay, so write down how many you're going to post a week. And then let's do your math. You have your ratios written down? So if you're going to post, if your plan is to post 20 times a week or 20 times a month, if you plan to do 20 posts a month, you're going to have 10 posts that are to grow your audience. You're going to have 6 posts to build your brand, and you're going to have 4 posts designed to convert or sell. All right. So I'm going to pause now for questions because this is just so much content. This is just a lot of stuff. Do you have questions? Thoughts?
You post 4 times a day?
I post typically 3 times a day on Facebook. Do you want to know something fascinating? My brain automatically, it's like an alarm. And in my brain, it's like time to post. And I post when I get up or get going. I post around lunchtime unless I slept in, and then I'll post around 2. And then I post again, usually Facebook 8:30, and then from 8:30 to 9 I'm creating a reel. And so my Instagram reel, usually there's always one that goes up around 9 p.m. and oftentimes one around noon also.
All
So
right.
so I'm okay. Here's the other thing though. Just take it for what it's worth. In this activity for my homework that I have to do for this training that Rob doesn't know how much money we paid for is what I am focused on. I have never had a problem selling on Facebook. All of my hundreds of levels of ones have all come from Facebook or face-to-face interactions, mostly Facebook. I have only made one sale on Instagram and I have almost 7,000 followers. So I decided for this 90 days of training, my focus is Instagram. So I'm still going to be doing, you're not going to see anything different on Facebook. Whatever my mind does over there, and I feel like it's more pillars, is going to be on Facebook. But I am going to truly do what they're telling me to do for my content strategy on Instagram to see, can I start getting sales? I mean, it's a little silly that I have so many followers and have never sold anything, right? So I'm changing it up and it makes me super nervous. I've never made a post to try to sell Plexus on Instagram ever. And I've had that Instagram account since I only did face cake pops. So like 2014 is how long I've been posting. I don't think I've never made a Plexus selling post. In my stories, I have. So this is going to be a really good quantifiable training, right? And only module 1 is marketing. There's lots of modules, but as it goes on. Okay, let me give you a couple of activities that you can do, because what time is it? 9:30. To help you come up with content. So first of all, what you're going to do, this weighed on me all day, but I finally got it done. So don't be overwhelmed by this activity, but get yourself a calendar. Here's a calendar. Or I scratched so much on that I just did my November and it 1 through 30. Okay. And here's what I knew. I knew that I needed 15 growth posts because I just every day. I'm going to post every day on Instagram, but just once. 15 growth posts, 9 brand building, and 6 convert and sell. So I backed into it. November, there's going to be Black Friday stuff. There's going to be stuff. So I strategically put my sale days on the days I wanted them. So you don't have to, but knowing what's coming in November, maybe just a suggestion for your sales days in November, November 1st, November 7th, November 13th, November 22nd, November 29th, and November 30th. Not a hard and fast rule, but if I was to not tell you any secrets, I would plan to make sale posts those days. Okay. Now just mix and match your growth and branding days. Unless you know, like for Thanksgiving, that might be a good day for sure to pop in brand because you might be posting about what your family's doing, right? Like November 12th, Andrew's getting braces. So I wrote brand on that day because I'm probably going to post about getting braces, right? So if there's certain things going on in your life, write brand on those days. But make sure that every day has what you're going to do. Sell, growth, or brand. Give it a date. Here's where it gets really, it could be overwhelming, But I promise you, when I finished this activity, I was like, oh, this is going to be good. For almost every day, I looked at my diamond and then I just rotated. So on November 1st, it's going to be a sale. November 2nd, I put as growth, Gen X mom humor. Because, right, you're trying to create content that people share. People really like to share funny stuff, funny, educational, inspirational. Is that what you share? Right? It's either, so Gen X mom humor. So, and then I just rotated. On day 3, autism, mom day in the life. 4, running humor. 5, menopause. Why did no one warn me? 6, TBI hope. So literally writing. And then once I went through all of my assets, I started over. Homeschool support for growth. Gen X mom trying to juggle it all for my brand. Growth, autism, growth, running encouragement. Brand, menopause humor. Sell, restore. You see what I did? And as I write it, your brain is starting to come up with things that you can share and write a little note of it. It doesn't have to be the whole exact post, but it's going to be kind of a snippet so that your brain is thinking. But here's where ChatGPT gets super fun. So, did anybody write down a niche or a pillar that they would be willing to share with me for this activity?
I did not do a niche, but I just decided like I'm gonna focus on Instagram, continue with my pillars a lot of times a day.
Tell me,
How many?
how many posts a week on Instagram?
Oh, well, first I put 2 times daily. And then I said, nah, maybe 3 or 4 times a week.
Okay, here's the beautiful thing about
I stretched
Instagram.
it out.
Here's the beautiful thing about Instagram is you can pre-schedule it. You
Oh,
can say when you want it to go up. So let's say
yeah.
on Saturday you spend some time batch creating because now you're strategic about what you're posting. On Instagram, you can schedule it on their app.
Okay.
So that may help you in making sure, like maybe whatever day of the week, you're like, I'm going to make my 4 Instagram posts on Thursday night, whatever it is, and schedule them.
This is funny, not
Huh?
funny, but this this training goes back to how I started. Because back then we had an app. I can't even remember what it was.
Yes.
But we
Yes.
could go in there and I would load all my content for the week. And I had like an 8 a.m. post. I usually did a lunchtime post, and then I did an evening after the kids have gone to bed post. And that was always Plexus. So that's how I built my business.
Correct. And you remember there used to be lots of programs we could use where we would plug in all of our content and then Facebook started kind of blocking them. So
Yes,
Facebook still doesn't have a thing where you can pre-schedule except for in groups, but
right.
Instagram does. You
Okay.
can say when you want it to go up.
Okay.
Jessica,
Very
what were
cool.
you going to share?
I feel like within am I
You're good.
okay? I feel within Hootsuite, you can actually schedule stuff because we use it for our nonprofit. So you can do like Instagram and Facebook, but you might have the issue of one platform not being viewed as much. I guess for my pillars, I would say New York City mom, Korean cooking or Korean culture, day in the life, especially homeschooling. I could talk about that more. My faith and I guess gut health, stress and
Mhm.
stress in the city and stuff like that.
So
So that would be
a a chat GPT activity for you to do that will help you come up with your content might be, what are 20 misconceptions about living in New York City?
oh, I like it.
Okay. So write down these beginning prompts, because then you can plug in your different things and then play with them. Take one and run with it. Okay. So here's some prompts, but then add in your niche or pillar words. What are 20 common stereotypes about blank? Plug in your word. What are 20 misconceptions about blank? What are 20 reasons society values blank? So what popped into my head there? What are 20 reasons society values homeschooling? So those are some prompts. And let's see. Oh, please, because these pages got mixed up. Here's one more prompt. What are 20 commonly asked questions about blank? Right? Because if people in your niche have these questions, you could just answer the questions in your posts or reels, right? So this is called 13 by 4 formula for brand awareness content. And I said 20, but you could do 20 or 13. They had 20 on some and 13 on others, but let's just pretend whatever questions you asked for answer to be 13. So here's what it says. Take 13 commonly asked questions or objections about your brand, industry, or niche. Then give 4 answers or responses to each question. This will give you 52 pieces of content, 1 a week for a year. So for instance, here's an example. What are 13 commonly asked questions about perimenopause? Then, so one of them is, what are the symptoms of perimenopause? So now in ChatGPT, right, you would say, give me 4 answers to what are the symptoms of perimenopause? And then each one of those 4 answers becomes a different post. Does that make sense? So this 13 by 4 could give you enough content to post 4 times a week for a year, if only you did these things. Here is one more activity. It's the 10 by 10 activity. This one I did, well, just on my Instagram app, but write down 10 people on Instagram or Facebook. If what you're focusing on is Facebook, apply this to Facebook. I'm saying Instagram a lot because that's what my focus is, but whichever one you've chosen to use. Okay, so think of 10 people that you love to follow. It doesn't matter why. It could be because they make you laugh every day. It could be because they post motivating stuff. It could be because they share educational stuff that is helpful to you in whatever you're going through with life. It doesn't matter why you like those 10 people. Now what you're going to do is go onto their page and save 10 of your favorite posts from them. So now you have 100 posts saved that you can recreate, rewrite, share. If you are using, is anybody focused on Instagram? If not, I'm not going to go through this. Okay, Laura. Let me grab my phone. Hold on. Oh,
I thought she was laying down to take a nap real quick.
let me just. I drank my Restore. I got to go to sleep, y'all. Okay. By the way, I had my calming cocoa for the first time today. I drink it well, I don't like hot drinks. It's the Mormon in me. I've never had them, but I drink it like hot. Yeah, we don't drink hot drinks. Weirdest rule in the Mormon religion. I mean, I can get behind no sex before marriage, but no hot drinks. So I've never had one. But I drink like hot chocolate. I mean, like chocolate milk, and it tastes like Nesquik. I did 8 ounces of water. I'm gonna try milk tomorrow in a scoop. It's
Wait,
okay if you laugh
so
out loud.
that's still is it a rule? Is that called a rule? And it's still
It's in the word of wisdom.
word of wisdom.
Yeah, that it's right there with, obviously I'm not the best at the no alcohol, but I'm really good at no hot drinks. I told you I'm good at almost everything.
I'm gonna need to follow up on a private Zoom later.
Okay. Okay. Instagram. Okay. So if, for instance, let's say you liked my content, we're just going to use me. So what you would do, can you see this? You're going to go to my page. You're going to click on this button because that's going to show you all of my reels. All right.
Okay.
Then what you're going to do is you're going to scroll and you're going to look for reels that have lots of views. Now, here is the rule. It is considered viral if there are more views than you have followers. So if
Okay.
I have something with 10,000 views, that would be viral for my page because I have 6,500 followers. Does that make sense? That's just kind of the rule. Like, I think people throw out all kinds of numbers. That's the actual viral rule, is it's more than followers you have. Okay, so we're going to go to the one I was telling you about. Okay, 2.6 million. So you would click on something that looks like it has a lot of views. If it has lots of shares, you can't see that, can you?
But I got it.
Okay. So when you look at that arrow down there,
Mhm.
which is what you would hit to share it to a story. If it also has a lot of shares, you know that that's content that's valuable to other people. That would be something that you might want to recreate for your growth days. So that again is where you're using your 10 by 10 strategy. And so what I did is I looked for people I follow that I really, what I did is because I have saved a lot of things on Instagram. So ones that I had saved, then I clicked on them and went and looked at their page to see, hey, did I just like this one? Or do I like a lot of what they're doing? And if I liked a lot of what they were doing, then I used them and I found 10 in their page that I liked and I saved them. So in my Instagram categories under saved, I have a top 10.
So when you save them, are you sharing them or you're recreating or a combination of both?
I'm not sharing them at all.
You're just recreating?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And lots of times my words are lots of times they're the same. Like for the hook, a lot of times it's the exact same, but it's my own B-roll.
Okay.
And then I use ChatGPT. So then what I will do is go into ChatGPT and say, I'm going to use B-roll with this hook. Can you help me write a caption that goes with it? That way, if for whatever reason somebody doesn't like that I've stolen their hook, as if they would ever see me in a million years, my caption is not the same as theirs.
Gotcha.
Or if you love their caption, copy their caption and put it in ChatGPT and say, rewrite this from my perspective.
Got it.
So, in summary, here's your homework. The 10 by 10 exercise, the 13 by 4 process. That was where you asked ChatGPT to give you the questions. And then the diamond exercise. If you're going to niche. You can even do it if that's your pillars, but really if you're niche. And then make your calendar. Be ready for November 1st. Also, what'd you say?
That's Friday.
Oh, I thought you were saying that's your birthday.
Oh,
It's my
God.
birthday.
I'm not
That's
ready
my
for that.
birthday.
Not ready for that.
Okay. Here's the what. I think everybody, Laura, you don't have to write this down. Everybody who watches this recording or is on this call, 1,000,000% on November 1st, get on the call on Plexus Ambassador, whatever, where they're going to tell you everything that is happening in November. Because you have never seen a month like you're about to see in November. Am I right, Laura? It's about to be bananas. So if I were you, I would have all of this done. Work on this tomorrow. Then you got to pass out Halloween.
And keep in mind those dates that.
Yes. Keep in mind those dates. So 1,000,000% be on that call. Don't wait for us to post what's happening in November. Don't wait for us to post it and then you don't understand and it's confusing. Get on the call and let the experts at Plexus walk you through everything that's happening in November. Because when we start posting things, it's so much, it could possibly be confusing. Or you might miss one thing and grasp another. You want to be on that call and you want to be taking notes and just be ready to be awesome. I don't know what time the call is yet. Actually, they've posted what time the call is. So we need to probably share that in our team page. And invite people to the event that starts Monday. In Gold Diggers, which you guys are all in, that's where I shared graphics that you can use to post to promote that event. And if you want in the event, then you just need to tell me, because I feel certain that you guys have already ordered 100 PV that would qualify you to be in the event. But get people invited. Your Jules uplines, we're going to be all throwing in gift cards and stuff like that for fun people can have for holiday shopping, fun prizes. And I'm saving an announcement for Saturday, Friday, Saturday. It'll help you. I'll message you, Laura.
Okay. I'll message you back.
Okay. All right. Anybody have questions? I know this was a lot of stuff. I probably will have, I'm hoping I have another guest trainer. She's either going to do next Tuesday or the one after it. I don't know. Stay tuned. She's awesome. And message me with questions. Have I left anything out?
No, but this is great. Thank you.
Okay. Well, you guys, it's Magic Week. If I were you, I would pretend that tomorrow is the last day of the month because most mamas are doing Halloween.
Thursday be crazy.
Thursday be crazy. So I am just pretending that tomorrow is the last day of the month. I know many of you committed to earning the holiday cash. If you haven't earned it yet, then you should send some messages. Just saying. All right.
Good, sis. Thank you.
You guys are awesome. I'll talk to you later. Bye.